I have not shared this too much publicly because I have been in recovery, and I'm still in recovery physically for over a year now. I was driving from Ohio, which is where my parents live. That's where their home was. And I was driving many times back and forth across the state. I moved to Pennsylvania when I was 20 years old, and I had lived most of my adult life, about 40 years, in the Philadelphia area.
Mhm.
And I was driving from Ohio going back to Philadelphia. Um, Beautiful morning. It was 11 a.m. I'd made this trip literally thousands of times over 40 years, never had an issue in all kinds of weather, never had a problem. Rain, sleet, snowstorms. I've driven through it all. This was a beautiful morning, 11 a.m., sunny, gorgeous. I set my cruise control at 65. The speed limit was 70. I just wanted to enjoy my trip, and I was listening to music. And all of a sudden, I heard this loud, it sounded to me like an explosion in the rear of the SUV that I was driving. And I thought, oh my goodness, did a tire just blow out? And then instantly, it was as if a big hand was pushing me across the road
Mm.
very quickly, headed towards the cement median. I could not see anything in my rearview mirror. I didn't know what happened. Again, I'm thinking maybe a tire exploded. Maybe a piece of a satellite fell out of the sky. I had no idea why my vehicle was being catapulted. Literally felt like a hand violently pushing me with great strength to the cement median.
Mm.
And I remember feeling the vehicle starting to turn over. And I saw the median, and I said to Jesus, because I talked to him all the time, and I questioned him. I wasn't scared. I know it may seem odd to say,
Yeah.
but yeah, I know those scriptures. They're in my heart. They've been there for years. And I said to him, I wonder if I'm going to die.
Mm.
And immediately after I said that, everything went blank. I don't remember the impact. I
Mm.
don't remember anything. The next event that I have in my memory is I heard murmurs, voices murmuring. And I heard things before I could see them because I was coming out of an unconscious state. I then opened my eyes and I couldn't quite figure out where I was. And I kept looking and looking, and I saw glass, and I saw things that looked familiar, but yet they didn't. And here
Mhm.
I came to realize I was hanging upside down in
Yeah.
my seatbelt.
Yep.
And that I didn't recognize things because they were upside down. I had never seen the inside of a car upside down before. And I then thought, wow, the seatbelt is holding me. And then I prayed and said, Lord, please let it unclick. I think I need to get out of here. Please don't let me be stuck in here. Um, and I checked my arms to see if my arms are okay because I thought I could crawl out. And I
Mhm.
my eyes, and the window side of the driver's side was shattered, but all the metal was bent down and smashed. And
Yeah.
and I figured there's no way I couldn't get out that way. But the passenger side was completely missing, and it was a big opening. And I thought, well, I could climb over there. So I didn't know what had happened. I didn't realize that a vehicle had struck me. I
Mm.
thought, I wonder if the car's on fire or if it's going to explode. My first feeling was, I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
Then I looked around and I thought, well, I'm just going to crawl out. And I heard a voice say, are you okay? And this murmuring turned into a man's voice, and I saw him tuck his head down and look into the vehicle. And I said, well, I'm conscious. I said, and I unclicked the seatbelt and I just crumpled into uh, the glass and the debris